I'm an LMHC who loves to write, and here's how you can use psychology to write better characters. Today we're talking about three main family structures, and I don't mean this to say that there are three types of families or that all families fall into one of these three types. This is more, here are three different ways that you can look at your character's family to help really flesh out their relationships and how it's structured in a family unit. Three different aspects I want you to look at. Let's break them down. The first aspect I want you to look at for your characters' families are they in a symmetrical structure or a complementary structure? A symmetrical structure is one where the roles are flexible. For example, either or both mom and or dad could be working in a job to financially provide for the family. In a complementary structure, the roles are more rigid. An example includes gender stereotypes. Dad works out of the home, but there can be other forms of rigid roles. When they're not working, a symmetrical family structure can become competitive if you've got two or more people who are actively trying to figure out who's better at their role. In a complementary structure, you can end up falling into stereotypes where people aren't getting their needs met. Both of these can work if everyone is satisfied in their roles and all the needs of the family are being met. The next aspect of families I want you to look at for your characters and their families. Are they a centripetal family or a centrifugal family? A centripetal family will go through these different stages in their individual lives or in their family's life cycle, and they will become closer together. They will have a big emphasis on being there for each other. For example, this might be a family where it's expected that you're going to live and take care of your parents in their old age. Versus a centrifugal family is when, as you go through your individual and your family's life cycle, you actually become farther apart and there's more of an emphasis on autonomy. Going to either complete extreme is not healthy for families. You want to have a balance, but families are culturally likely to lean one way or another. Last structure you're going to look at for your families is their cohesion adaptability ranges. I know this feels like two concepts. This feels like two separate concepts to me, but for whatever reason, these are all included into one structure. So I want you to look at your characters' families and ask, what level of emotional bonding do they have? The extreme ends are not going to be healthy, disengaged and enmeshed. Disengaged is they have no connection to each other emotionally. Enmeshed is they are overly emotionally dependent on each other. And then in the middle, you have slightly separated and connected. Adaptability, very similar. Where between these extremes and more comfortable middle is your character's family, between rigid, structured, flexible, and totally chaotic. Go ahead and use these outlines to flesh out your characters' families and tell me about them in the comments. Happy writing!